Hello, folks. This is Mark Stinson, owner of JMS Auction Barn. And today I'd like to talk to you about what happens at an auction when you go to an auction. Uh, so the first thing, I'm going to talk about maybe 12 different things uh, that you could know, so you're just not walking into an auction blind if you've never been to one before. So the first thing is get there early, because the reason why you get there early is because they have all their items out there that they're going to sell that day. And so you have the ability to go look at them and check them out and everything, because at an auction, all sales are as is. So they give you the opportunity to check it out, and so you know what you're buying, and if you're interested in any of the items. Um, so the second thing is you'll be asked to sign in. Like at our auctions, my wife, she has a book, and she'll ask you to sign in. Um, put your email down there so we can get your permission to email you for future auctions, and also get a bidder card. That's most important. You have to have a bidder card in order to purchase things at an auction. And the third thing uh, is that the auctioneer, when he gets started, when the auctioneer starts the auction, they you don't he really doesn't necessarily want you to go up there and ask him questions during the auction. He don't want you to interrupt the auction. That's why he has staff. You go to his staff and you ask them questions, and 90% of the time they can ask your questions. And although that's our rescue cat, she's walking around. I'm sorry, folks. Anyway, so they they will uh, be able to answer your questions, his staff. Uh, and then the auctioneer, he's going to introduce you to everybody. He's going to introduce you to his staff and himself. And uh, before he gets started, he's going to tell you about the auction. You know that it's an absolute or with reserve or without reserve auction. So you really need to listen to that, and he'll tell you some rules, about how to pay, how you can pay, when to pay, and all this and that. So that's very important to listen to him at the beginning, so that you even get a better understanding of what's going on and what's expected at the auction. Um, and then uh, they'll post the rules, like how to pay, when to pay for your items, uh, all that. Um, there'll be signs out too as well, um, so that if you don't, if you didn't catch, if you got in late and the auction's already going off, and you're wondering, they'll have signs around. There's signs around that has the rules and tell you how to pay, where to pay, when to pay, uh, and all, and what kind of payment you can make. Whether it's cash or credit card or debit, all that too. And there'll be signs around that tell you that. So not only is the auctioneer going to tell you the rules, is that there's going to be signs around too. And it's important to get there early as well, so that you can ask questions. If you have any questions about like an item that you see that they're going to sell that day, um, then you can ask questions about that item, and just, and always ask questions. That's how you find out. You know, uh, the auctioneer and the staff are more than happy to answer all your questions, because they like you to be there. Um, and most importantly is to have fun. these are fun events, and I got to tell you, folks, this is a totally different shopping uh, event. It's different than going to the store, walking around. It's different than going to the flea markets and walking around. This is a little more exciting, and you get to participate more. So it's just it's a totally different experience, shopping experience. So I hope you try it sometime. And when you go to our auctions, we have boxes. Now, most auctions, especially if they're consignment auctions, they'll give you free boxes. We give free boxes because when you win a bid, okay, uh, you get that item right then and there. So you possess that item as soon as you win the bid, or whoever wins the bid. They possess that item. So we give you a box, so you're not sitting there. If you buy 5, 6 items, and you get good deals on them, so you're going to buy. If you buy 5, 6 items because you got good deals on them, you don't have to sit there with them on your lap. We give you a box to put them in, and so uh, that's kind of important. We feel it's important, my wife and I, because you just bought a nice uh, item that could be made out of ceramics or glass or whatever, and we don't want you to break it. Because if you break it, you still have to pay for it because you bid for it. But we don't want you to break it, so we provide boxes for you. And a lot of times, my wife and I will have drawing for a prize. When you come in there and you get a bidder card, we write your bidder number right on a piece of paper, and we put it in a jar, or maybe an item that we're selling. It could be maybe a vase or something, and for that day. And so usually about halfway in between the auction, we'll have the drawing. We'll have someone from the crowd um, to draw the name or the number out, and we'll read it off, and then they'll get that prize. So uh, that's another reason why it's kind of fun. Uh, and we kid around and stuff too. It's not all um, uh, professional uppity up. It's kind of laid back, and we try to have fun. It's important to be um, compliant and everything, but it's more important. It's just as important to have fun as well. So that's what we like to have fun, and we like to make it fun for you as well. And another thing about going to the auction, I'm probably like on number 10 already. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not really rehearsed in this, doing these live streams yet, but we'll get better. And but I'm probably on like number 10 or whatever. But to me, I don't like to put a number on them. I just like to tell you about the auctions. But uh, when you go to an auction, you meet a lot of people because you're there. You're there and you meet a lot of people. You're all looking around at the items and things like that. And so it's a social event, really. And so if you uh, about an auction and that, you'll know that it's pretty much a social event. It can be pretty fun. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the language of the auctioneer. Okay, so that you're not surprised when you go there and you read all the rules, because they're not going to tell you the language. And you might hear all for one money. When the auctioneer, before he auctions up an item. He's going to show you the item. He's going to tell you about it, and he's going to tell you either all for one money. And all for one money means that let's say they got a set of 5 coffee cups. And so what he means is that when you're bidding on them coffee cups, you're getting all 5 of them coffee cups for what you bid. Okay, so and it can be anything. It could be dolls, it could be toys, it could be dish towels, it could be plates. All for one money. That means you're only going to pay the price that you bid for all of those items. And another language is choice of. Okay, so if the auctioneer says choice of, that means that he has several items there and they're different. Let's say he's got 10 dolls there. Okay, and each of the dolls has a different color dress on it and they have different color hair. So, and if a person's buying a doll, they don't necessarily want them all, but they want a certain doll because maybe their daughter or their grandchild or whatever's favorite color is blue. So they want the doll with the blue dress. So that's what that means. When he says choice of, when you win the bid, you're the bid winner. So that means you have first choice of all them dolls. You could either take them all or you can have your first choice of the one that you wanted. And then he'll usually ask if anybody else wants it for that bid, or he'll ask if you want them all, or take your choice. And once you take your choice, then he's gonna go into ask the crowd, the other bidders that bid on the doll, if they would like to have choice of for the bid that you won, that you made the bid on. So they're going to pay the same amount that you won the bid. But the ideal is that you want to win the bid so you get the first choice. Okay? Because if you let someone else win the bid, let's say the doll was $5 and someone else bid 6, right? And nobody's bidding, so he asked for $5.50, and nobody bids $5.50, and you're out. You don't have the high bid anymore, and they get it for $5.50. And if they win that bid, they could take that blue doll that you wanted. So you got to make sure that you win the bid if you really want to get that color or